we're lucky here because we have some of the most outstanding state elected officials in all the country right here in the state of Ohio. Beginning with the best Secretary of State in the country. John F. Kennedy Profile and Courage Award winner, Jennifer Brunner.
Okay, I think we need a little preventive health care. So I want you to take whatever you got, fan yourself. I want you to bend your knees a little bit. I want you to shake those arms a little bit. Because I don't want anybody to faint here in the heat, because then we have to go find some health care, and that's what we're here for. So we know that now is the time for health care reform, because health care is a right for every American. Now, part of the reason we came together tonight is to honor Ted Kennedy, who understood that his role in public service meant never, 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 never giving up. While his fight ended before he could see victory in the cause of his life, we can fight that cause from this point on. I had the opportunity to know Senator Kennedy and his wife Vicki when I received the John F. Kennedy Library Foundation's Profile and Courage Award last year. And what mattered to me so much from that was that this was a time when Ohio could shine. This is a time when Ohio could be recognized for doing something good about elections, and the rest of the country could look at us, and they did look at us last November and said, look at them now. Last weekend, I know all of you probably were, I was struck by how down to earth Senator Kennedy and Vicki were, how much they loved their family, how much that love fueled all that they did for their families and for our country. You know, public service requires much sacrifice. And those who understand that being elected to public office is not about them, but about you, understand that public service is a noble calling and is the cause of a lifetime. Senator Kennedy fought tirelessly to better the lives of so many Americans, and he understood that the corporate CEO is no greater than the single mother in the eyes of liberty. And he understood that in a democracy, all are equal, all are free, and all are entitled to respect. He understood that health care for all is a cause that is rooted in fairness, equality, and respect in our great American democracy. So just as he picked up the torch of his brothers, it's up to us to pick up the torch and work unceasingly, to think creatively, to reach across the aisle persuasively, even if they won't take our hand, and to make sure that health care is available to every American. Today's healthcare system is structured on the free market's model of survival of the fittest. But you know what's kind of funny about that is that for health care, good health care wants all of us to survive. So, our sick and ailing healthcare system is undermining the health of our nation, and even those who have coverage are finding themselves financially strapped from taking preventive measures that could prevent later catastrophe. And when that catastrophe does hit, they're crushed under staggering costs that diminish their lives and the lives of their family, that bankrupt them, that cause them foreclosure, and as you heard Joe say, that even cause people to have to divorce just to get health care. We have to fight for a public option in our country's health care reform, and we know it works. We know that it works because we have Medicare, and it's worked for 40 years. It is a public option. With 45 million uninsured Americans, just think of that, 45 million. What we don't need is more corporate corporate solutions that reward excluding sick Americans and whose healthcare expenses are going to go higher anyway in unpaid premiums and healthcare costs, the insanity has to end. You know what this is like? By leaving a public option out, it's like hitting our head against a wall to cure a headache. And we know that that doesn't work. Think about it. Think about it. This is the United States of America. We are the shining city on a hill that our grandparents looked to and that their grandparents looked to and that they longed for. It's up to us to keep the promise alive that every American can realize with freedom their full potential to be the best that they can be. And we need health care to be able to do that. We got the opportunity to carry that American dream on and to achieve what our parents could only dream of. This is the start. This is the way we can come together. We can fight this battle for healthcare reform. We can fight for the quality of life in the America that we know and we love. Because if you think about it, the one day in our country when everyone is truly free and truly equal is Election Day, because no vote counts more than any other vote. So it's time. To encourage them to work tirelessly, to remember each American, and to honor the legacy of service we've seen by so many like Ted Kennedy in our country, and finally pass real health care reform because of public